descendants of French Creoles. Right? You'll even see some of the names of the streets is French Creoles. Now, this road that we come into here next to this gas station where that car swung in there, that takes you up to Paramin. Right? Now, if you're going with the Jeep, you park your vehicle down there, and the Jeep picks you up from there and take you up there. Now, the taxis that work up there have four-wheel drives Land Cruisers, Toyota Land Cruisers. So that's because of how steep the hills are. And y'all are going to experience. I hope some of y'all are not afraid of heights, you know. I hope not. I hope Wade in front here ain't afraid of heights, because he's right in front here. You can get first hand, you know. You can see it first hand, you know. You're going to be on some cliffs.
Okay.
Right? Oh Lord, I hear somebody rolling over Lord in the back. Oh my God. Don't worry.
It's experience.
I ain't worried.
It's an experience. It's an experience. The fact is that this place, Paramin, is on top of a mountain.
Okay.
Right? It's on top of the mountain. And it's a very special place, you know. Yeah, because, okay, so guys, we're moving off of Maraval Road, and we're now going to swing onto the Saddle Road. Saddle Road takes you over to Santa Cruz, into San Juan, right? Over to Santa Cruz, into San Juan. And the reason why they call it Saddle Road is because originally the shape of the road was like a horse saddle, a horse's saddle. That's when the British built this. But this is a route. This road is a route that the enslaved Africans, some of them used to take to get away, to run away from the estates in Santa Cruz. And because the French Creoles, which were a mixture of African and white, treated their slaves better, many of them ran away from the estates in Santa Cruz, and they went up to Paramin. So that's why you have a mixture of French Creoles and Africans up in Paramin up there.
Okay.
A nice mixture of people up there. And in 1849, the British started building primary schools and high schools. And that is when they said every child had to go to school. They had inspectors riding around on bicycles, ensuring that all children went to school, that kind of thing. And they said that every child has to speak English. Now, back in those days, you had French. These are the languages that you heard in Trinidad. You had the French, you had Spanish, you had Patois, you had English. Right? Those were the languages you heard in Trinidad. The main languages.
Those are main languages.
Those were main languages. Because the Spanish took over this island from the indigenous people, right?
Right.
And they invited French estate owners to come here with their enslaved Africans. So we're coming off a Saddle Road now, and we're going on to the North Coast Road. Right, and when you see those two pillars, it means that the Americans built this road. Yeah. If you're going up the highway, going up Paramin, going up the highway, you see two pillars.
Mm-hmm.
It shows that the Americans built that. Right? Yeah, so the Spanish invited the French with their enslaved Africans to come and occupy, and they're the ones who brought an economy to Trinidad, because they're the ones who set up the sugarcane estates and cocoa estates, even cotton estates and all of that they set up, right? And so you had the French here with the enslaved Africans. The enslaved Africans spoke Patois. So you had the Spanish speaking Spanish, the French speaking French, right? And then the British, not too long after the French came, the British came shortly after and took over the island from the Spanish. But the Spanish didn't leave. They didn't leave because they had business here. They had cocoa estates also. Remember the term we call people we call cocoa pile?
Yeah.
Right, cocoa pile. Anybody who look in the Spanish, we call them cocoa pile, right? And that's because during that same time in the 1800s, You had Simon Bolivar, Bolivar in Venezuela. There was a revolution going on over there. So plenty Venezuelans actually ran away from there and came here, and they worked on the cocoa estates, the Spanish cocoa estates. So that's where we amalgamated two words, cocoa and Espanol. Cocoa and Espanol, and we get cocoa payo. Right? It's two words coming together there, cocoa and Espanol.
So what happened to the indigenous people? They died out?
No, most of them were killed, of course. Most of them were killed. What we have today is we have descendants of some of them. In patches, we have in Arima, the Carib community up there, and we have in South Trinidad. So when you look across to your left now, you see Paramin. See how steep those mountains are?
Yeah.
The roads are just as steep. So that's why they use four-wheel drive Toyota Land Cruisers as taxis. Those are the taxis that look up there.
So then how did Toco manifest? I mean, with Trinidad and how Trinidad evolved to get the independence of England.
Well, we got our independence because of Dr. Eric Williams. Right? So we didn't have to fight. As a matter of fact, do you know that there was never a war in Trinidad? Never at all. Ever. The Spanish didn't have to fight a war to take over the land. The British didn't fight a war to take over the land. The British,
Why?
because Spain was not interested in Trinidad.
Oh.
All those people were interested in back then was robbing other people their silver and their gold, right? Taking it back to England, taking it back to Portugal, taking it back to France. That's all they were interested in. You know, they were going around killing people and
And
stealing.
they wasn't interested in living here.
No, they had no silver and gold here. The only reason they came here and occupied is because everybody at that time heard of a story about this place called El Dorado, and one guy thought San Antonio de Barrio. He thought that Trinidad was close to that place called El Dorado, so he asked Queen Isabella to occupy, and that is how the Spanish came to occupy. Not because it had anything here. So Spain itself wasn't interested. So there was no army here to protect anything. There's absolutely no military here to protect anything. So when the British came with all their big ships to take over the island to fight a war, they just walked on the island realizing that it had nobody to fight. Exactly. Now guys, I'm talking. I hope I didn't pass the road. And sometimes you get into some old talks. I didn't think we passed the road.
I don't think it's because of water.
We're coming to it though.
Yeah.
Now, what is
How did the name Trinidad and Tobago come about?
Okay, well, forget Tobago. Tobago was no part of Trinidad back in those days. Trinidad got the name. The word Trinidad is Spanish. A lot of us feel it's English, but the word Trinidad is Spanish, right? And Christopher Columbus, Cristobal Colon is the man correct name. Cristobal Colon. He named it La Trinidad because of the Trinity Hills, the three mountains that he saw in South Trinidad. That is what he saw first.
Oh.
So guys, we're going up a road here, a very steep road. Coming up to it, it's called Fort Poitou, and it is Patois. Those words are Patois, Fort Poitou, and it means. Do you remember it had a little a wild thing that we used to eat? We used to call padu.
Padu, yeah.
Right. Now we pronounce it padu, but we pronounce everything badly because we don't talk French, we don't talk Patois, we don't talk Spanish.
Right.
But it's Poitou. Look at the name here.
Q?
Look straight ahead of us, and you'll see the name on that sign there. All right. Wait a minute. He's following me. The guy in the back. Right. You saw it there?
Yeah.
Right. Poitou. Now, pois is P, and do is sweet. So Poitou is sweet pea.
Okay.
And 4, as far as I found out, means the bottom of. So that's the bottom of Sweet Pea Road, right? So maybe they had a lot of Kwadu up here, and that's why they call it Kwadu Road. Now, guys, because of the steepness of this road, I cannot drive slow, or else the car would not make it.
Okay.
It's in sport right now.
Okay,
So
next time I
it
turn
will
around, I'm
respond.
gonna do something. I'll make sure I find out how far we gotta move. Hear me, Wade? 2 ways. I see Paramin in Instagram. Okay, Grace. Grace, you do the back and walk.
I don't know when you think you do this and you see this thing on Instagram and think you want to think, I don't know.
Now,
I got to start sending things to Grace, and Grace could do research and tell me how far we gotta go. It's steep in the hill.
It's a one-time experience, man.
now the road, are you feeling the roughness of the road?
Yeah.
They had to put those lines across. It's concrete.
Right.
They had to put those lines across, or else you would lose traction.
Right.
Okay.
The car would lose traction.